Hello and welcome back to Remote Kinstretch with the Fitness Alchemists. I'm Hannah.
I'm Will.
For this moment of your training for mobility, you're going to need a wall or door frame that you can put your arm up against, and you'll need a garden variety towel. A large bath towel would be best, so you can have some options to fold it up at different sizes. We're going to start warming up with some thoracic spine peels into flexion. So you're going to set yourself up against the wall in a little bit of a wall sit. You can't see Will's lower half here, but just know that you're going to have your knees bent a little bit. You're going to make your low back flat to the wall, and then you can just put your arms into a little cross to get them out of the way. You're going to start to peel your spine off the wall, using the feeling of that wall for extra feedback to try to get a little more specific through your spinal segmentation, one piece at a time. You're on the clock for this one. And what you'll probably notice is that as you peel up, you can be a little bit more specific sometimes than as you peel down. So take advantage of that moment. Don't just roll up like the exercise is over and you're resetting. Take your time to rebuild one vertebra at a time, coming into contact with the wall. So I'll have Will pause here in the round position. Go ahead and meet us there. Feel the last part of your spine that is touching the wall, and then see if you can make just the next piece touch. And then the next vertebra, and then the next, and then the next. And keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Good, very nice. We'll do one more of these. Last 20 seconds of this set. Keeping your low back flat and still, focusing your movement efforts on the portion of your spine that's above your belly button. Nicely. Take a breath. Use your breath anywhere you feel sticky. Really nice. Great. And then you're going to grab your towel and you're going to fold it up and place it just below your shoulder blades so that you pin the towel between your back and the wall. You're going to do some scapular cars from here, bringing the arms out to a V shape, hands slightly wider than the shoulders, and the shoulder blades are free to move just above that towel. From here, draw the shoulder blades in towards the spine, up towards the ears, wide across your back, down towards your back pockets. Keep going in that same direction. You're on the clock. And we've got you set up here with the wall so that you can get extra feedback if your spine is trying to help and contribute to that scapular movement. One of the most common cheats that we'll see in our students is that the upper back tries to arch a little bit or round a little bit to fake a little more scapular movement. So here you're going to really feel if your spine starts to change its relationship to the wall. Pause and reverse direction. Keep breathing and keep searching for that largest, smoothest circle that you can make. Nice. Last 10 seconds. Squeegee out a little bit more range of motion. Pulling your shoulder blades into each position, trying to feel what is contracting to bring my shoulder blades where they're going. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, you can set that towel off to the side. We're going to do some axial rotations or capsular cars for the glenohumeral joint of the shoulder. So you can reach one arm out to the side and make a strong fist, and then you're just going to try to twist that upper arm bone in the socket as far as you can in one direction, and then as far as you can in the other direction. And you can see our main focus here, we want that bicep to twist. Will can wring out more rotation down at the wrist. That's fine if that also happens. You just want to be mindful of not letting your wrist pretend it's the shoulder. So focus on getting as much rotation as you can, yeah, right up there, and making sure you're coming to a complete stop. Wringing out rotation, nice. Go one more in each direction. We're going to really work with your shoulder external rotation today as our training focus, and relax. Good. Other side, same idea. Planking your body nice and strong, and then getting as much rotation as you can through that upper arm in one direction and the other direction. One shoulder will not be like the other. So make sure you're allowing each shoulder to be itself. Good. Last 15 seconds here. As you get familiar with where your motion stops, you can start creating that little fight for more moment, trying to squeeze out a little bit more range. Three, two, one, and relax. Good. So we're going to get into our first setup for shoulder external rotation. We're going to demo this two ways. So the first one I'll have Will actually face away from you. You're going to place your fist and your elbow against the wall or that door jamb such that your elbow is slightly higher than your shoulder. And then you're going to step your leg that's on that door jamb side forward. So you have a slight split stance, nice, comfy. Make sure your legs are fairly relaxed. And then you're going to tilt your t-shirt logo forward. So that's effectively rotating the arm bone back relative to the shoulder socket. And you want to find a pleasant and sustainable stretch here for yourself. If you're not used to training this range of motion, it can be really sensitive at first. So go slow if this is your first time working with pails and rails for shoulder external rotation. You're going to camp out in that stretch sensation, and we're just going to breathe for a few. Take a nice slow breath in, followed by a slow breath out. Taking this opportunity to calm your nervous system with your breath and communicate to your tissues that it's totally okay to be near end range. Good. We're not going to hold our passive stretch for too long, so we definitely, this is another area of the body where we need to build our stretch tolerance for most folks that we've been assessing. So we're going to go into some pails efforts. For the pails, I want nothing about Will's body to actually move, but I want the arm to send rotational force into the wall. So at first, just give me equal pressure with elbow and fist. And then keep that, but try to make the fist press a little heavier than the elbow, as though you were trying to rotate forward and get that same twisting action of the upper arm. And find just a nice, easy 10% effort. Gentle, gentle, but really think rotation. Rotation, trying to rotate forward. Check in that the shoulder blade is not getting involved. It might try to jump up on top of your neck here. Want to keep that nice and steady, and then slowly ramp that down. Good. See, as you relax out of that effort, if you can tilt your torso a little further forward, deepening that rotational angle of the shoulder. Maybe, maybe not. Don't force anything that's not willing to go. Just pick up the slack if it's there. And then round two, gentle pressure, elbow and fist, equal at first. Then start to make that fist heavier than the elbow. Feel rotational effort. Find your way to a 20% intensity effort and hold that. Breathe, hold. Keep your 20%, but see if you could send extra work from the rest of your body. Can your legs tense up? Can you brace your abs? Maintain for 5, 4, 3, stay in position, 2, 1, slowly fade that away. We'll do one more set here. Just check if you've got any slack that you can take up. Can you tilt the torso a little further forward? And do you need to make any micro adjustments of your lower body to feel more comfortable and more powerful from your base position? And then last set of pails here, elbow presses, fist presses. Find equal pressure at first, then give that fist extra pressure as though you were trying to rotate through the wall. Find your way up to 10%, 20%. And then if that's feeling good, go ahead and kick it up to 30%. But you get to decide where you get off the train. Hold, breathe, maintain pressure, visualize that upper arm trying to rotate through the wall for 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in position 1, slowly fade away the effort. Take a deep breath before you come out of the position, and then bring yourself away from that edge. Great. So we're going to do our rails or regressive training separately, but we're just going to save and upload quickly with some capsular cars. So come back to that nice straight arm out like a T, just trying to get rotation through the upper arm bone in both directions. Notice what feels different after that little bit of pales. You might feel like you have, buttery, more range of motion. You might feel fatigued just from that pales effort, especially if you're not used to training this particular range. Either one, totally valid. And as always, if you're feeling sensations you're not sure about them, reply to these emails that we're sending, guys. We really want to hear from you. We want to help you out. One more in each direction. Beautiful. Okay, for the other side, we're going to have Will face the side, so get a slightly different educational angle. Leg that's closest to the wall steps forward slightly, so you have that slightly staggered stance. And then elbows slightly higher than the shoulder blade relaxed onto the rib cage. Start to tilt the torso forward. You can also feel like your hips are pitching back a little bit. Make any adjustments in your feet to feel like you're nice and stable and sustainable. We're increasing that rotational angle of the shoulder. You're hunting around for a stretch somewhere in the front of that shoulder armpit tissue. Once you find your stretch, take some deep breaths. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Aiming for a slow inhalation and a slower exhalation. And if you figure out that you've gone too far, if you're getting like tingles or nervy sensation, you can back yourself out just a little bit, yeah? We want a really pleasant, sustainable stretch. We're going to be here for a little while, so we need to make sure we're not too irritating to any of the nerves moving through that tissue. One more deep breath. Set your position, so think freeze frame on that torso angle, and then start a gentle, gentle pales effort. Elbow and fist pressing into the wall. Thinking rotate, like you're trying to rotate that arm through the wall. Find 10%. Fist a little heavier than the elbow. Hold. Breathe. Nice, easy 10% effort for this first one. It's easy to overshoot, so see if you can keep it just gentle, but sustain it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in position, but slowly relax that effort. See if that opened up some slack, and if you're able to tilt your torso further forward. Again, don't force anything, just take it up if it's there. Round 2, elbow and fist press equally at first, very light. Make the fist a little heavier than the elbow, and then ramp up. Find that familiar 10%, and then rev yourself up gradually to 20% and hold. And keep in mind that 20% is 20 out of your 100% effort, so we're still in that fairly low intensity category. Maintain. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax the effort, but stay in position. Try to leave the bones where they are. Just relax the muscles. Check in with your breath. See if you can get a little deeper or more intense stretch sensation that's still very tolerable, very pleasant. And then last one, elbow and fist press equally at first. And then start giving me a little extra pressure from the fist. Really visualize your upper arm trying to rotate, finding that familiar 10%, familiar 20%. If you're feeling good here, you can ramp up to 30% effort and maintain. You can get off the bus of the tension anywhere you need to. Stay at 20, stay at 15, stay at 28. You decide. Last 5. You got this. 4, 3, 2, stay in position. 1, slowly relax that effort, fade it out. Deep breath, and then bring yourself out of position. Can feel a little interesting coming out of that end range work. Bring that arm out to a T shape for your axial rotations. Plank your body, and then just rotate upper arm bone in the shoulder socket. Wringing out as much rotation as you can. And you can see Will's using his other hand here as just a little self-tactile reminder of what isn't moving. Anytime you notice that you've got a part of you that wants to jump in on a car or any of these isolations, just simply placing your hand on that part that wants to volunteer will bring more of your awareness to that and help you start to pull those pieces apart. One more in each direction. Excellent. Good. We're going to move down to the floor for our regressive work, so we'll see you there. Great, so we're back on the floor to finish up your shoulder work from this class. You're going to need your towel. We're going to fold it up pretty thick. You want to mimic about the height of a yoga block. Your elbow is going to go right on that towel, and then your fist will be on the floor. You can rest your forehead on your opposite hand. If that's not comfortable for your shoulder, grab another towel or a little throw pillow, just so you can prop your forehead up and make sure you're able to breathe freely. Now, as we're doing this upper body work, make sure your whole body is involved, especially lying on the floor. It's pretty easy to be like, just chilling out. You will get so much more benefit out of these exercises if you are actively planking your full body into the floor, and Will's going to do a great job of that, I know. All right, so what we want to get going here is just prep our shoulder blade a little bit. So you're going to give me a little bit of that same rotation we were working on in the wall, the pails, which is to rotate down into the floor. And then I want you to just explore your scapular movement from here, up and down. Slide the shoulder blade up and down. Keep that rotational pressure into the floor. And just explore how much can you shrug, how much can you anti-shrug. And then settle that shoulder blade down on the rib cage. Keep it there. Keep that little bit of rotational pressure. And in a second, we're going to reverse it. Plank your body, glutes, abs, legs, everything strong. And then just reverse that rotation. Hold whatever lift you get and fight for a little bit more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly fade that rotation back down to the floor, keeping the shoulder blade where it is. Reinvest in your plank and rotate to lift. Hold whatever you get and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back to the floor. Now I know this will be not near end range for everyone. So that's why we're doing that hold at where your movement stops and creating a little more isometric work there, because that's going to be closer to your active end range. 2 more. Rotate down into the floor to prep. Brace the body, shoulder blade on the rib cage. Rotate, hold, and fight for more rotation. 5, squeeze that fist. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back to the ground. Beautiful slow fade. Last one, best one. Plank, shoulder blade on, rotate, hold, fight for more. 5, come on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back to the floor. Beautiful. All right, we'll come back to that. Go ahead and switch your towel over to the other side. I'm just going to have Will do a quick switch so we can keep the video moving along. Same thing on the other side. Start with a little bit of pails prep, rotating down into the floor, and then just slide the shoulder blade up and down. Up and down. Doing your best to keep even pressure down into the floor as you move that shoulder blade. And we're using this drill to build awareness. When we get into those rotational liftoffs, I don't want your shoulder blade to move. I just want your upper arm to rotate. That's the tissue we're trying to train. So right now, get your yayas out of moving your shoulder blade. And then glide that shoulder blade nice onto the rib cage. Keep rotating down into the floor. Ramp up your plank, and then reverse that rotation. Hold and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, nice job. 2, 1, slowly relax back down, keeping the shoulder blade steady. Reinvest in your plank. Give me a little pails rotation down into the floor. Make sure both sides of your chest are heavy into the floor, and then reverse that rotation. Hold and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax back down. Good. Rotating down into the floor to prep. Brace your body and reverse the rotation. Lift off, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax back down. Last one, best one. Brace, rotate, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back to the floor. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to give the shoulders a little bit of a break, but we'll come back to them. And we're going to get into what we colloquially call the runner's lunge or the yoga lunge. And if you're not on a squishy surface, your towel could come in handy as a little padding for that bottom knee, if you don't have the luxury of being on an amazing 1 5/8" mat. Okay, so the first thing Will's going to do is seek a stretch in the front of the hip, front of thigh tissue of his rear leg. He's going to think about bringing his belt buckle closer to the floor and also curling his tailbone under, almost like he's trying to round his low back, which will help him and you bias a stretch through the front of the hip stuff. This front leg has some options. It can be between the arms or out to the side. Play around, see what feels right for you. And then from here, we're going to do a little bit of pails for that front of thigh stretch. So you're going to think about making your back knee heavy into the floor, your back foot heavy into the floor, and then using those 2 points of contact to try to drag the floor forward. You should feel like this engages that stretching stuff in the front of the hip. Maintain that, ramping up to what feels like a good strong effort. I won't give a percentage, I'll just give you a nice 5 count. Ramping up for 5, increasing 4, increasing 3, increasing 2. Find a nice strong effort for 1 and maintain it for 3, 2, joys of construction, 1. Slowly relax that effort. See if that opens up more slack, if you can shift a little deeper into the stretch, maybe curling your tail under a little more, maybe shifting your belt buckle closer to the floor. Maintain that position. And now we're going to do a little work for the regressive tissue. So Will's going to commit to keeping his hips right where they are, nice and low. And then he's going to try to make that back foot light. As it comes up, he's going to think pull heel to butt, without letting the hips go back towards the foot. When he gets to the greatest point that he can squeeze, he's going to give it a good solid squeeze and then float it back down with control to just lightly touch the floor, come right back up. Squeeze that greatest point of knee flexion and then release slowly. Beautiful. You're on the clock for this. Find your own rhythm. Everyone's range of motion will be a little bit different. Keeping your belt buckle the same distance from the floor that it is and pulling your heel towards your butt. The big cheat here will be that your butt will try to move towards your heel. And that takes us out of our angle of hip extension that we're trying to work. Last 10 seconds. You're doing great. 3, 2, 1. Good. Switch legs. Good. Finding your stretch on the new side. Might be in a different spot than the other side. We don't expect those legs to be perfectly symmetrical. Shifting the pelvis forward, tucking the tailbone under, biasing a stretch through front of hip, front of thigh tissue on that rear leg. Take a few deep breaths here. Hunting around for your most sturdy, most stable position. Sussing out where you need your front leg to be. And then we'll start with a little pails effort. So making your back knee and your back foot a little heavier into the ground. You can also imagine you've super glued those points to the floor and then use those points to try to drag the floor forward. Your goal is to engage the front of thigh, front of hip tissue where you were feeling that stretch. So it's in a long position, but it's trying to contract, but the floor is in the way. Ramping that up gradually to a nice strong effort over 5, increasing 4, increasing 3, increasing 2. Find your solid effort for 1 and maintain it. 3, 2, stay in position 1, just slowly relax that effort. See if a little more slack opens up and take up that slack. Maybe you can curl the tailbone under a little bit more. Maybe you can shift the hips closer to the floor. Make sure you're feeling a pleasant and sustainable stretch, and then we'll go into our regressive work. So commit to this position, keeping the hips exactly where they are, belt buckle same distance to the floor. Start to make your back foot light. Feel what could do that job. Pinching in, pulling heel to butt. You can imagine you have a grapefruit in the back of your knee. You're going to squeeze it, make some grapefruit juice for brunch, and then slowly relax it back down. Nice, gang. You're on the clock. Keep finding your own rhythm with these knee hinges. Pulling heel to butt, squeezing, and then slowly return back down. Each time you think you've bent your knee to the maximum, try to spend a little extra time there, fighting for more range. You might not get more range. You might just get a really great isometric contraction close to your active end range, or you might get a little extra movement that you didn't know was there. Both of those are a complete win for me and for you. Last 10 seconds. You got this, Will. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. And release it back down. And rest. Zowie. Coming back onto your belly. Elbow propped up on your folded towel. If you need to take a moment to bundle your towel back up, go for it. Give me rotational pressure down into the floor to prep. Glide that shoulder blade onto your rib cage. Plank your body. Abs, glutes, legs, everything squeezed and strong. I shouldn't be able to come by and pick up either of Will's feet with all of my strength. And then reverse the rotation. Hold whatever you get and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back down. Reinvest in your plank and rotate off the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade back to the ground. Reinvest in your plank and rotate off the floor. Fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade. 2 more. Brace. Rotate. Hold. Fight for more rotation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade. Last one, best one. Give me the best plank yet. Rotate. Hold. Fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly releasing back down to the ground. Beautiful. Swap your towel to the other side. Start with a little rotation down into the floor. Plank your body. Glide that shoulder blade down onto your rib cage. And reverse the rotation. Hold and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release it back down. Better brace, better plank. Rotate. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release back down. Ramp up that plank. Rotate. Fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly return back down. You can imagine someone's holding your fist in place and you're pushing against it. Brace. Rotate. Hold and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade. Excellent. Last one, best one. Best plank of the day. Rotate. Hold and fight for more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow fade. Yes, very nice. Okay, coming back into your runner's lunge. Towel can go under the back knee for padding if you need to. Find that stretch through the front of the thigh, front of the hip. Sink your pelvis towards the ground. Commit to that position. Think of planking your body in the shape that you're in. And you're on the clock for knee hinges, making that back foot light, pulling the heel in as close to your butt as you can, and controlling the return to the floor. This set, see if you can lift fast, squeeze the top, have that fight for more moment, and then a slow fade down to the ground. You're working for time, no need to count reps. Find your own pace here. Nice. Keeping your hips low to the floor. The heel comes to the butt doesn't come to the heel. Last 15 seconds, gang, you're doing great. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch which leg is in front. Good. All right. Shifting your hips forward, belt buckle towards the floor, tucking your tail under, trying to get a little more stretch through front of the thigh, front of the hip stuff. Commit to that position. Keep your hips low to the ground. Brace your upper body, strong arms into the floor, and then make your back foot light and pull that heel to your butt. Squeeze, and then slow fade back to the ground. Good, you got it. Try to vary that tempo here. So you're coming up fast, you're squeezing the most amount of knee bend that you can get, whatever that is for you, and then you're slowly releasing. You're just past that halfway point. You're doing so well. Life is good. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, gang, we'll leave it there. If you want bonus points, you can do one more set of each of those things, but we're gonna try to keep these videos to about 20-ish minutes. All right, see you next time.